Okay, I have went ahead and I boxed in the frame rails and done the final welding after I rechecked all my measurements. I have grafted the front of the old frame on here. This is where the pickup points are. These two holes here and these here. I've tested it with the old what do we call it, the core support, and the inner fenders. Come out here, I'll show you the inner fender. This is an untrimmed fender. Now that I put the front end on there, it's going to interfere with the old inner fenders, so you got to trim them quite a bit. You can see the difference. This one's trimmed. It almost clears everything, but not quite. There's even more that needs to be trimmed off of that one. Back in here, I'll show you the welds on the what I had to do on the front end. This was kind of tricky. I wanted to graft it right into this spot on the frame, but I put the power steering box in, and I tried it out, and it wasn't going to do the same thing on this side as it did on this side. So I had to use I used some 1-inch strap, 1/8-inch strap, and 1/8 inch, and I cleaned it up, and I made it look as good as I could. I was gonna make this look a little better by grinding it off and boxing in a little bit, but none of that is seen. It's all hidden under the core support and the inner fenders. It's really hard to look at if you wanted to see it, so I'm just gonna leave that be. I'm gonna put my energy somewhere else. So let's see. I used when I boxed in the frame rails down there, I actually did use pieces of the old frame. The problem with that is that it's 6 inches across, and the frame pieces that I had left went from 6 inches up to 5 because of the arc in the frame for the to clear the axle. So what I did was I left the top where it folds over. You got like the C. Well, I bent the bottom of the C flat, heated it up with a rosebud, and then cut it at 6 inches. So I put it in right here, and it pretty much just covered everything and met every point it needed to be, and I just welded it up, and it fit real good. So I went ahead with that instead of using the plate like my first plan. And this one, the front end, it's pretty tricky to get this front part in there, but I set it on some floor jacks and some floor stands, jack stands, and I got it where I needed it, and tacked it in there and rechecked and double checked, and it set just where it needed to be, and I trial fit my inner fenders and the core support and everything lined up, so I'm pretty happy with that. Gee, I guess that's about it. I'm gonna keep posting videos as I go along with the truck, but for now I'm just gonna move on to other things. I think I'll finish up I'll do the rear end next, and I'm gonna remove the cab and then do the bodywork on the cab. There's quite a bit of rust up here. That's probably the worst part of this truck. That and this panel here has been, I gotta replace this panel. If we didn't have the louvers punched in it for the heater, I would just fill that in with a flat piece of sheet metal, but I got to order the panel that fits in there. The door has been hyperextended into the panel, so it kind of ruined it. That point and that up there is the worst thing on the truck. Everything else is pretty decent. I'm gonna have to get a couple of my friends over here and remove the cab, and then I'll attack the back of the frame. I got the no limit brake kit that goes on the frame rail. That uses the original pedal. I'm gonna go ahead and use that and put it into and use the brake line kit also. I'm gonna try and figure out which column matches best and adapt it into the cab. And that's it for now. Tools that you'll need to do this, if you decide to do it for your do it on your own, are you need a good MIG welder. I use a probably a base. That's probably second above the cheapest Miller MIG you can get. It's 220 volt, but it's 175 amp. For what you're doing here, it's more than adequate. It works great. It never skips a beat. I had much cheaper welders in the past, and it's a small welder, but it works great. I had no problems with it. Also, give yourself a good auto darkening helmet. It'll turn you into a pro right away. And let's see, you need an octoselling torch setup, and various grinders and hammers and things like that, and a good air compressor, and you'll be able to graft your clip on there. Final note on the cost of this. I lucked out and got this clip for $200. Guys are wanting a lot more for these things now. They shouldn't be. If you're paying more than $200, you're getting ripped off. I didn't think I got a deal, but I had a hard time getting this. People wanted $500 for these, and they're just not worth it. Because the newest clip out there is 30 years old, so they need to be completely rebuilt. And I'm talking rotors, calipers, all bushings, tie rod ends, springs. You replace all that stuff, add that to the cost of the clip, and you'll have yourself the cost of a brand new clip that pretty much just welds right in there and will be worth more in the end than grafting this clip in there. I was a little disappointed on how much the front end rebuild stuff costs, but I've already gotten this far, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with it. Let's see. That's about it, I guess, for now. If you are interested in having some help on doing this, I'm happy to help you out. Just email me at modernrods, all one word, at gmail.com. I got stuff laying around I can help you with, or I got some clips around that from doing this in the past, and I got some, I give you advice or whatever you want. I can even help you or do it for you, whatever. This entails about 30 hours of hard, dirty, greasy labor. So this isn't a weekend project in my opinion. Unless you've done this dozens of times, you could probably whip it out in no time. But I've done this 3 or 4 times, and this is it takes me about 30 hours every time of cutting and fitting and trial and error and well, that's about it. Tune in later. I'll move on to the rear end and the body work. And that's all for now. Thanks.